This is Scott Augustine for CardRunners.com, bringing you part two. I brought up the first part of the session stats and just taking a look at a few things. Things of note, the results and the big blind and stuff, it's only 300 hands, so we're not going to really find anything out of that. In general, it looks like we're opening rather wide. We're playing rather wide from every position and pretty much all positions, which could be just like, it seemed like we got pretty decent holdings considering per position there. So, but something to maybe tail back on if we are opening a little too wide. And things I want to keep an eye on for this portion of the video is we've got our big blind 3-bet versus button and big blind 3-bet situations, and I want to keep those higher and these lower as I'm kind of going through some processes and trying to see. So I want to keep my blind defense in general rather high, and I want to keep depending on the circumstances. Like obviously, when we have a guy over like 500 hands who's playing 8-7 and isn't going to show up with 3-bet 9-7 suited and then bet all the way with a pair of nines on the river for value, I guess, for that guy, which was a hand I'm alluding to from part one. This is just a little bit too loose to be 3-betting there or doing anything but folding. 2-3 offsuits, one of the worst holdings we can clearly have, so we're not going to worry too much about that. I don't see doing anything but folding no matter what the action is with this guy opening, so we're going to go from there. Fold here. And the reason is I think that was like a weaker part of my game is blind defense in general. I was probably folding a little bit too much. I was probably playing a little too passively out of the blinds compared to how I think I can play in a slightly more profitable situation. I've played with this guy a decent amount, but not. He's a guy who will generally go from like 40 big blind play, and then sometimes full stack, and then sometimes be just like crushing higher stakes games. So I'm not sure if it's a guy who just sometimes takes some days off and does whatever, or if it's more than one person who's playing that. I don't have any, obviously, evidence for that, other than it's just always odd when people are just sitting there and they some days short stack and some days don't, and some days like play deep anti-tables and whatnot. But I also some days play Zoom, some days play heads up, and some days play really terrible. So going forward, I guess I can't fault anyone for just kind of doing whatever they like. And yeah, I would say that's my biggest thing here. It looks like we don't know anything about this guy, so we're just going to try steal. And then on this board, we're going to try to bet third pot. We've got our gut shot. We hit our gut shot, and the question is, do we want to check or bet? I think we're going to get too many check behinds with like 8x and whatnot. I guess actually we can check. I think he's okay. That's cool. Okay. I'm not going to talk about that hand. We're just going to go by that hand. So clearly, no matter what, when he turns that 2 pair, that guy's destined with how he played to get the money in. And what I do is relevant with my hand strike slightly better than his break-off point for that. Going to 3-bet here. I think it's okay with 7-8 suited. I think it's just a little too weak to flat. The 7-8 suited in general just doesn't connect really well with kind of what a cutoff opening range in general looks like. It makes a ton of like second pair hands and hands where it's just like, this kind of sucks. And for this smaller sizing, we can expect him to flat quite often, which is okay because we'll have some immediate fold equity, but we'll also have, like if he's got like king 9 offsuit, clearly he's ahead of us, and he could 4-bet bluff us with some of those holdings that I'm talking about. But in general, he's going to have a really hard time continuing with hands as strong as like a king 9, a king 10 offsuit. This guy, 12% under the gun open, 4 people behind me. I think we just have to fold king queen suited there. I'm not sure I can make an argument for calling.